the start of a brand new season here for CSGB. We're here for Season 2, Round 1 here at Bahrain for a qualifying session. Just give me a couple minutes so I can get the stream shared. Okay then, we're just waiting on, I believe, one player who dropped out just before we were ready to go. So once that has started, we'll be getting underway. Short qualifying here for the F1 guys here. After that we'll be jumping into a 50% race for the feature race. And then tomorrow we have the sprint race for F1. I believe we have 17 drivers partaking today. Just waiting on the one more. I think it's one of the I think it's one of the Mercedes drivers. They just dropped out briefly. Waiting for them to get back in, not sure what happened. We were ready to get going, but then by the looks of things the driver dropped out just before we went. Once they're back in, shouldn't be too long, we'll be getting underway. Go through here. I think some of these drivers are new to the league. It is the second season, so it's not brand new. And we can see Jay Prentice has managed to get in. He was unsure a little earlier on that he was going to make it, but they have got in time.
We can see Jay Prentice has managed
Oh,
to get in.
wait a minute. Mute that. Don't want to hear myself. Can't think of much worse than that. Said from Liam his internet dropped. Should be back in a bit. Whole range of nationalities here. You can see the usual, probably more Brits than others, as you would not expect, but a lot of these leagues tend to be European based. You can see quite a few Swedes as well. A couple of Irish, got some Finnish in here as well. Shouldn't be too much longer. Just seeing the missing driver is resetting their game now. As we are getting underway, drivers start to ready up. whole range of teams. I think despite having 17 runners, we do have all 10 teams here. So no constructor will be going missing from the standings afterwards. So we get into the session then. 18-minute qualifying session does await us. After that, there'll be a short break as I switch the streams over to the race one. Just waiting for a couple drivers to load into the game, shouldn't take too long. Just a disclaimer to those watching, I may pronounce some names wrong, but I will definitely give it my best, and I'll try to have fun with it. Here we go then, Season 2 of the first round here in CSGB F1. First qualifying of the session is now underway. Just get all the random stuff onto the screen. There's a couple of drivers going for the medium tyres. 4 of them all together being Liam, Tribe, Kazakhs and Hindle. 4 drivers trying to set their time on the harder compound of tyres. So one of the Ferraris is out first. That's the Ferrari of Ogre Trainman. Just going to call them Trainman from now on as it's easier for me to pronounce. So finally managed to get off board. Looks like everyone's come out at once here. Quite a big train. Looks like some of the drivers will just wait a little bit longer. Wait till the track's a little bit clearer, they'll have some space to push. See, very nice helmet there for the Ferrari driver. James has left the session, more than likely just an internet issue. Don't imagine anyone will be quitting out just yet. After just a minute and a half. More drivers seem to be going for the medium tyres. I would imagine excuse me. I would imagine all 17 of these drivers are quite close on pace, as there was a sort of time trial based thing just a couple of weeks ago that separated all the drivers here in CSGB into either F1 or F2. Just some yellow flags at the back there, just drivers waiting up a little bit. Looks like most of the drivers have come out on track at this point. Just I think 2, maybe 3 still in the pits. Everyone else out there trying to get a lap in, either on the soft or the medium tyres. We won't see any hards here for qualifying. The race could be done on a one-stop with the hard tyres. I'm not sure if you can use soft and medium for a one-stop here in Bahrain. The track is quite high on tyre wear, so I don't believe we'll be seeing that. But these drivers on the medium, there seems to be getting more and more of them as session progresses. They'll definitely be trying a one-stop for the race. The only reason they would pick the medium compound for a short qualifying session, as the lead Ferrari invalidates their lap coming through turn 13, so we'll go to the car just behind them. That is Kazakhs in the Red Bull on the medium tyres, who now be the first car to set a lap time after the Ferrari invalidated. Comes through the final corner. Opens the DRS, crosses the line to do a 126.9. A strong lap there on the medium tyres as well to open the session. His teammate goes behind him. However, is that Ekelund? I'm going to say. In the Haas does beat him, and then that guy Sven goes even quicker, 125.8. There on the soft tyres. Netsky also going up into P3 in the Alpha Tauri. Looking further down, Timmy, where to next? One of the best names I think I've come across. And that Mercedes has gone P5, Hindle now P7. After CSGB, Fefster goes up into 3rd. Further down we have Silly Sly Guy, who went P8 on the soft tyre. Tribe down in P9 now after everyone else has set their laps. Next up to cross the line is one of the Alfa Romeos. That is Rimsey. I'm going to go for that, also on the medium compound. Sliding in just behind their teammate. McLaren will to be line next. That is Jimbo Mansi. Opens the DRS, comes up to the line, goes P2, makes it a McLaren 1-2. Good lap there. Jay Prentice then in that racing point goes into P7 on the soft tyre. As we wait for Trainman, who once again validated their lap, comes into the pit lane. That'll be it for their first run. Looks like Liam, next car to set a lap, comes through the second sector, does go purple. Kept it on the track to return 13. Quite an easy place to run wide there. Runs down one of the many straights here at the Sakia International Circuit, comes through for turns 14. And then the little right kink through 15, opens a DRS, there we go, comes up to the line. And goes in 11th. Very strong sector 2 from the Mercedes driver, considering they're on the medium tyres. Further down we can now see Rainman just starting their lap, as well as James, who had those couple of internet issues earlier on. They seem to all be sorted now. Next up to start their lap will be Vapor Shea, just comes through the final sector. You have 3 very long straights here at Bahrain, one not quite as long, but still very easy to overtake here. A lot of braking zones where you can maybe not quite send it, but definitely give it a go. Try and force your opponent into a mistake. We watch the Alpha Tauri then of CSGB Rainman 13. It comes through that very tricky downhill left-hander. Turns 9 and 10. Very easy to lock up there, you'll lose a lot of time if you run wide. Uses all of the track through turns 11 up through 12. It's going to important to keep it on the track here, you'll lose a lap time. Does so once again using all the track. It comes down to the final couple of corners. Comes up to the line, goes up into P8 on the mediums. James goes first in that Williams. Strong lap there from the driver on soft tyres. His teammate is next across the line, goes purple in sector 2. Also on the soft tyres, so prioritising track position over initial strategy. Looks like some more drivers who originally tried the mediums have gone for the softs now. So he comes across the line, goes up into P3, not quite as good as his teammate, but does split the McLarens. So he'll be happy with that one. Further down, one driver yet to set a lap. It's the Ferrari of Trainman. Looks like they gave it 2 attempts on that last lap, but couldn't quite keep the car between the white lines. Now a couple cars coming up for their second run. You can make 3 runs here in the space of 18 minutes. So we see Lund on their outlap for a second run. So we try and find a driver on the lap. I think Netsky is. Just comes up to turn 4 now. A couple of yellow flags out there. Shouldn't affect too many drivers. Comes through downhill left of turn 8. Quite a few drivers. Does lock up into turn 10 there. There's a little bit of time there, but seemed to got the car turned enough. A little bit cheeky there, using the slipstream of the Haas down the back straight. Completely legal though, so if you can get an advantage, you may as well take it. Comes through 13, keeps it on the track, but only just. Nice to see a lot of drivers are matching their helmets to their cars. Locks up again into 14. Opens the DRS, comes up across the line. Goes up into 6th, just a little small improvement there from the AlphaTauri driver. As the Ferrari of Trainman goes up into P2. Gets ahead of Sven, who was provisionally on pole earlier on. So one of the McLarens now coming through the final corner. It's Jimbo to start his second lap. Just trying to keep up with all the times that are coming in, as we have just under 8 minutes left of the session. Looks like one of the Mercedes is just about to come out. As Timmy goes up into P4. And Kazakhs goes second. Silly Slyko's also gone up into P3 just recently. A lot of drivers finding time. Only 2 drivers now on the medium tyres, both currently out on track. Everyone else has opted to go for the soft tyres. As you can see, it is very close at the top. Top 5 covered by just under 0.2 of a second. Whole field currently covered in 3 seconds. We could try and find someone. On the lap, one of the Ferraris just coming in. You can see Fefster then coming down. Original lap time to put them in P4, and now everyone else has set their laps. Currently sitting into 13th, out of the top 10. Runs a little bit wide through 14 and loses the lap. That'll be unfortunate there for the Haas driver. Comes straight back into the pits. As Tribe starts their second run of the session. Staying down in 16th, one of the Alfa Romeos coming up to the line now. Came into the pits, they've clearly already done their second run. A couple other drivers coming into the pits. So one of the AlphaTauris just started a lap, that'll be Rainman. Comes through this first sequence of corners. The very awkward turn 2 here at Bahrain. Only one driver now on the mediums, that is Jay Prentice in that racing point. Currently sitting down in 14th. And as we say, that switches over to the soft compound. So we'll be looking to definitely improve. So only the top 10 will start the race on the tyre they qualify on. So that would mean 11th down to 17th can choose whatever tyre they want for the start of the race. A lot of drivers in the pits just prepping for their third and final run. Probably won't come out quite yet. As I said, Netsky is on their outlap, just coming through, just finished the first sector. This Rainman then comes down into the final corners. Looks like the final corner down at turn 14, but there is one more. Just a sneaky little right across the line goes P7 then for Rainman. Good lap. In the end, looks like to have struggled a little bit. Or they were on the mediums earlier. Finally putting a good lap. They will have time for one more lap if they get back to the pits fast enough. Also currently on a lap is Tribe in that Red Bull. We also have Liam just behind them, I believe. No, he's just crossed the line. Did improve by 1.3 seconds then, but is still down at the back. They look to be going again for a second push lap. This may hurt them a little bit in the race, as their tyres will be more worn. Go back to Triby. He'll finish his lap first, so we'll stay with them. Netski's also just started their lap, as both the Williams cars have come out in tandem. Triby then comes through the final corner and comes into the pits. Clearly not wanting to improve. Don't believe there were any mistakes there. So Liam, they're still pushing in the Mercedes. However, cuts the corner just before turn 12. This lap will not count for Liam. Coming up to the line now is Festa to complete their final outlap. A few drivers still in the pits. Probably everyone will come out now with just under 3 minutes left of the session. Probably see more and more cars coming out onto the track. So one of the Williams in the final sector. That's so outlap for James. So both Williams cars did come out together. They have however separated during their outlap. You can see Timmy there on his lap. Coming up to start the final sector is a little bit down compared to their last run, but may get a slight snippet of a slipstream coming down towards turn 14. The Alfa Romeo not too far up the road. Hooks up the final corners nicely. Will open the DRS, come up to the line, stays 8th. No improvement from then. And see, one of the Alfa Romeos just starting their lap. The other one also starting their lap as we speak. Coming down to the final corner now, we have one of the Haas cars. That is Fefsa, just about to finish their lap. Crosses the line, goes up into P8, so strong lap there from the Haas. His teammate then a little bit up the road in terms of position. This is to start their flying lap. And then we have a Ferrari. Also, I believe to start their lap, a Racing Point then crosses the line as well to start their lap. One of the McLarens will also, now everyone will probably start their lap as the Williams guys have made it around. So we'll see what they can do. One of them actually pulls into the pit lane. That's James. So now we wait for Vapor Shea, who will complete their lap time. Goes across the line, but up into P6. Very good improvement there. So you wait for the Red Bull duo, both on their outer laps running together. We have the Alfa Romeo then coming through the final corner. This is the second Alfa Romeo that you're watching now. The other one came into the pits. You have a Racing Point as well coming up to the line. So that is once again to start their lap as Silly Sligo goes P1. Currently on provisional pole then with very not long left now. I believe everyone that's on a lap. So you're going to see it's going to be tight for right now, but will cross the line in time to start their last lap. We see the Mercedes of Liam as well coming across. You can start a lap after the checkered flag on this game. Don't know if it's allowed in this league, but it is a thing that is in the game for an unknown reason. Ferrari comes across the line, goes P2. Train man there improving to the second row. The AlphaTauri didn't look to improve. That's Netsky starting their lap. McLaren's come across the line. One into the pits. They'll be 5th and 12th for McLaren. Sven managing to maintain that earlier pace. So we see a Williams coming through the final corner. I believe they'll pull into the pits. And they do just that. See both the Red Bulls running absolutely together here. Kazak's the second of the two. Tribe goes across the line. Kazakh goes P1 with that slipstream from his teammate. That would have been very helpful. Goes on to provisional pole. The racing point will then come through the final corner. That is Hindle. As everyone else opens the DRS, crosses the line, doesn't improve on P13, so that will be it for them. Next up is Liam then. Been down towards the back for most of this session, will definitely be looking to improve. Currently 6/10 off Tribe in that second Red Bull. Come down to the final corner now, hooks it up very nicely. Stays well away from the apex to avoid invalidating their lap. Comes over the line, stays at the back but does improve. One of the Haas cars also crossed the line, don't think there was improvement from them. As Netski goes up into P3, very good lap right at the depth of the session. And I do believe that is it. Everyone has crossed the line. So that's it for qualifying. Kazakh does take that top time. The slipstream from his teammate would definitely have helped out. Netski as well looked to have struggled earlier on, but has put a lap time, putting them up on the second row of the grid. And that is it for qualifying here for CSGB F1. Here's the first round. You can see the results. As now that will be it for the race stream. Please join us in just a couple moments when we go over for... well, that's it for qualifying stream, sorry. Join us a couple minutes when we're back for the race. See you soon.